Alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back.
So first of all, we need to say that we are sponsored by Xbox.
Ladies and
Very
gentlemen,
important disclaimer. Okay?
Laymen shilling.
Laymen selling out to
Laymen
Xbox.
shilling. Guys, we've been sent here by Xbox actually to talk about Xbox, but we were very worried, to be honest, because we saw it last year and we're like, holy shit, we've been sent here and we have to say bad things.
Yeah.
But
how are we going to get sponsored by Xbox
Yes.
and then say, oh, that's a rough conference?
Honestly, like we were literally legitimately thinking if it was going to be like last year, we just had to be real and tell you people what it was going to be like. But today, we get to be like Shells. No, kidding. We actually get to say good things because I was very pleasantly surprised to see what dropped in this presentation.
I think there was a mixed bag because I think a lot of what we saw wasn't actually Microsoft per se, it was them leveraging third party, but regardless, there was a lot of stuff that dropped there. Some of it was gigantic in fact, so let's just get straight into it. So, Xbox press conference. Expectations were huge this year. Why? Well, Sony is kind of kicking Xbox's ass. There's no question about that. The first party lineup that Sony brings to the table is huge. Xbox actually has no more exclusives being released this year. That's a very rough year, obviously. And the exclusives that they have had released haven't really been like God of War, Stellar, knock it out of the park, Horizon Zero Dawn, Last of Us 2 level quality. They've been, you know, a little bit more hit and miss.
Like Halo 5.
Well, that was a few years ago, but sure, let's go with that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, people.
Anyway, the point is that the expectations were very high. Everyone was thinking, can Xbox actually really produce something here? And I think that on balance, they've done a fairly good job. They opened strongly. The first thing that we saw was Halo. Now, I must say, I have some concerns here. What did you think of the Halo?
I thought, number one, it should have been dropped later. That kind of news is like, that's stuff you want to see at the end, you know? But like they dropped it at the very beginning and then they start showing indie titles and stuff. Like you start on such a high, you kind of come down.
But what do you think this Halo is? Is this Halo 6?
I have a feeling it's not Halo 6, I don't think, because it's clearly not called Halo 6. I think it's something on the sidelines here. Maybe it's an ODST or, you know, I feel like it's really chasing the Destiny stuff or it's chasing something along those lines. I think they're seeing what's happening with Anthem, with Destiny, with Division, and Anthem, and they're going, shit, can we get a piece of this pie? That's what it looks like.
I'm deeply worried about that fact. When I saw Halo Infinite, when I saw those 4 guys on the shoreline...
It's usually named Infinite.
Yeah,
Infinite.
When I saw the 4 guys on the shoreline and Master Chief standing there, it felt like the game wasn't going to be about Master Chief. It was going to be about those 4 guys on the shore. And then when I saw the name Infinite, I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. I'm very worried that they'll take the franchise in the direction of Destiny, Perpetually Online, MMO Lite. I don't fucking want that for Halo. I want some awesome, fantastic cinematic campaign. I don't want to keep grinding for loot with the Halo universe.
But
that's not what I want.
But the thing is, Destiny 2 is a bad example, but you can still put a fantastic campaign into an MMO, you know, RPG. You can do that.
I just don't want
You can have your cake and eat it too.
I don't want them focusing on like what's the end game loot system and balance in PvP for the weapon that drops on the 3rd DLC pack and all that shit. I just want them to focus on making a complete game with an awesome story and great PvP, like deathmatch shit tacked onto the back.
But that's all there for them already, man. Like they've been doing that for. I know 343 have now taken over, of course, but like they've been.
We have not had that since Reach. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying they kind of got that stuff down pat for them to integrate an MMO style into Halo.
Down pat. That's the point.
In terms of like, for them to just bring out Halo 6, another campaign, another like deathmatch, capture the flag. I think it's good for the franchise to innovate a little bit. It's time.
I'm okay with innovate a little bit. I'm not okay with making a Destiny. But anyway, this is all speculation. It could not be that. It could just be. It could be a mobile game for all we know. And that was actually the first thing that entered my mind as well.
Really?
I swear to God, because I'm like, this is weird looking.
Yeah.
Why is this a thing like this? What is this name? I was like, is this some cheeky mobile game? I was like, please don't break my heart. We don't know what it is, but regardless, we know they're working on a Halo game. It is from 343, so we're assuming it's going to be Halo 6-esque, and that's that. So then after that, the press conference continued. So the next big item then was this game called Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. It's from a small indie developer that you might have heard of, Sam, called FromSoft.
Ah, yes.
They've made a few games in the past.
Yes.
One of them is called Dark Souls. The other one's called Bloodborne. Demon Souls.
So you would say that they are like
Armored Core.
They're the Dark Soul of developers.
They are the Dark Souls of developers.
Ah, there we go.
Now, their game was teased at the PlayStation conference last year, and now we've seen some gameplay. This looks fucking amazing. I love the idea of this like creepy, weird Japanese. It almost looks like how Miyazaki's like, you know, Spirited Away. If it was horror and grotesque and you had to kill everything.
Yeah, it had like an anime style to it. At the same time, it also had, I didn't feel like a Dark Souls-y type. I felt more God of War when he jumps on the back of it and like starts killing it. Very God of War, I felt. You know, that's what I felt.
A lot more vertical, a lot more like sort of, you know.
Yeah, exactly right. It didn't. It didn't feel like a rolling out of the way game.
Yeah, you know? But look, it looks absolutely fantastic.
It did.
That's totally in my wheelhouse as well. I love all FromSoft games and that Japanese style. I'm all about the Japanese theme.
We just came back from Tokyo, guys. We are definitely in the Tokyo spirit.
We get it. We eat sushi.
We do. We are totally cultured, everybody.
That's right.
So, Fallout 76. Now, the thing about this is, like, when I saw this, I feel like, you know, I was expecting a bit more. Like, I was expecting a little bit more than, because they come out and said it's 4 times as bigger than Fallout 4. But then it didn't really demonstrate. It didn't really
I don't know what this
much.
game is either. It reminded me of the Anthem trailer. I'm like, cool.
Yeah,
you've
like
got some
you
stuff.
see him slapping shit on and like, you know, a little bit of here and there. But then, I don't know. Like, I feel like at E3, if you're going to be like, it's 4 times as big and you're going to start talking like that, show us some of this like world, show us some of this like development that you've done.
We are going to be going to the Bethesda press conference very soon. So hopefully we'll get an understanding of what this game is at that press conference. But right now we're still confused as fuck. And it could be like some weird Rust game. It could be some base building simulator. Like it could be anything. We have no idea. They just say it's big.
I think you're right. I think it's actually going to drop at the Bethesda conference. That's where we're going to see some real shit.
Yeah, true. Crackdown 3 has been delayed to next year.
That was their only exclusive, right?
That's right. This is a game I cannot care about. I try so hard to care about this game, but nothing appeals to me about this game. I don't know, am I the only one? So, Crackdown 3. Now, I cannot care about this game. Am I the only one that just does not care about this game at all?
I looked at it, like when it first was revealed, I'm like, what is this? You know, like it just doesn't look like it's gonna land. And then I saw this, I'm like, yep, it's not landing. It's not landing.
It's not landing for me.
Maybe personally, it doesn't land for me. A lot of explosions. Doesn't seem like it's narrative driven at all. And like maybe it's just like very multiplayer and everyone's just exploding and shit. It's just not my type of game.
It was just Terry Crews yelling for like 5 minutes. It was like, rah, rah, come on, dudes, quiet down.
And maybe some people really love that, I guess. And I'm like, it's just not our stuff, I guess.
I wasn't a fan. So look, Crackdown is next year. Hopefully it's fantastic, but I'm super, super not pumped about it. Metro Exodus is a game that was revealed last year as well. This continues to be one of the best looking games I've ever seen. I mean, I actually have not played the old Metro games. They're sort of on my list, but this looks really incredible. The fact that Xbox has this as an exclusive is a big deal.
I think it's important,
It looks like a real, like a system seller. You look like you'd buy an Xbox to be able to experience this. If this delivers the quality that it looks like in the trailer, then like it's going to be something special.
I got a few vibes from it. Like I kind of got like a Fallout, kind of like a Bioshock. I got a few different things, like and almost like a Rage 2 too. I got a few different things there. Like if they can pull that off, that can be something that people will line up for.
Yeah, agree.
Definitely. So I'm actually very excited about that.
I think one of the most interesting pieces of news that came out of that conference was that Microsoft has purchased or established 5 new studios. This is very clearly Microsoft saying, you know what? We know we fucked up this generation. We understand, guys. We get it. And we're willing to invest in the future. And this was actually, for me, the #1 thing I wanted to see from Xbox. The #1 thing.
I hear what you're saying there, but I felt like when I saw that, it doesn't matter if they're ahead or they're not ahead. I felt like when they were showing that they want to buy up all these studios, they're really getting ready for the future. And it's really going to be streaming services. It's not going to be a console war. It's going to be an IP war, a development house war, and a publisher war.
And they're suiting up for that. I think that's a really great thing. I was really excited about that. And then The Division 2.
Oh yeah.
We saw it. It's there, it exists. It's actually in a new setting now. It's in Washington, DC, which is like the perfect setting for The Division. It makes so much sense. It's in summertime as well, which I know sounds like a little detail, but The Division was defined by this kind of wintry motif. It's all about the snow and all the cold. This is all about the heat. So I'm interested to see what they do with that. I will say that the gameplay wasn't quite as different as I had hoped. I really wanted to show me how Division 2 is different from Division 1. I really liked what I saw. It looked
Yeah.
extremely beautiful. I loved the setting, the Air Force One killing the heavy guards, and the Air Force One. All of that was great, but I just didn't quite see yet how this title sets itself apart from Division 1.
For me personally, when they came out, if they came out and said, guys, we want to show you some DLC for Division 1 and show that exact trailer, I'd have been like, that's pretty nice DLC, man.
But as a Division person, I can look at that and see immediately that is a step up visually.
Visually,
entirely new enemy design, new menu design, all that stuff, and I can see that. But I also hear your point as well, where it felt quite familiar.
Yeah.
The cringy Ubisoft dialogue continues, where they try and make it sound like real people are playing games, and they're not real people at all. They're fucking robots. But either way, Division 2, I am obviously looking forward to it.
And I think we'll hear more about Division 2 throughout
the Ubisoft press conference tomorrow.
Sure. Yep. So we're going to hear more about that. And another one that we weren't really expecting, plus half expect. Well, actually, I wasn't expecting it from the Xbox conference. Was Devil May Cry 5. I was like, holy shit! It's been a long time since the last Devil May Cry. So it's time for another one. I'm excited for it. I don't know if it can be exactly how it used to be. It can't be like an arcade slash 'em up.
It is, like, you saw it. It was.
Yeah, but like hopefully it's kind of changed a bit. Like I think 10 or 15 hours of that maybe will get boring.
No,
like God of War, it changed and it probably needed to, and it's probably got a long life ahead of it now.
It's attracted a huge amount of downvotes to this video.
It's true though.
Devil May Cry fans don't want anyone fucking with their
No. Look, Devil May Cry is fantastic, but I think people can see that every single franchise does need to slowly evolve.
So on top of that, there was also this really awesome Jump Force game revealed, which was just like anime mashup.
Oh, yeah.
All your favorite anime characters kicking the shit out of each other.
Yes, people
and the whole
that.
crowd.
And there's a few anime people that, like at the very end, that I wasn't sure of.
I don't know all the anime.
I don't know about all the anime people, okay? But
I'm not a nerd.
It looks very cool, okay? It looked very cool. Then we saw something. We saw this amazing wall with the Gears of War, logo. And I'm like, holy shit, Gears of War 5, baby.
Yeah.
And then some weird little toy thing comes through.
Final things. Do you know what that actually?
I looked at Ralph. I remember when I saw you, Ralph. I looked at Ralph straight, and this is what Ralph did. He went. And I went, yeah, not good, not good. But then thankfully, they did come out with Gears of War 5. And I think it looks good.
I don't know. I don't think so. What was that trailer? That trailer was so boring.
I don't
understand what's going on in that trailer.
No, I didn't mind that because I like that they really want to set up the narrative, and it's going to be very similar gameplay. It's going to be very similar gameplay to how it always is, and that contradicts my thing about Devil May Cry.
Exactly.
You always got to change. No, but hopefully they do evolve enough. But back to the whole weird thing at the beginning. What is that?
It's gonna be. It looks like a Lego. It looks like the whole. Take a franchise, put it into cute characters.
But like, what is it gonna be? Little cute characters like.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be pretty fucking cool. Actually, I would love to watch that.
Yeah. Xbox saved the best for last year, and maybe we shouldn't say Xbox. We should say CD Projekt Red.
It was cool how they did it.
It was cool how they did it. Yes. I mean, you would see in the video. Maybe we'll put it in here in terms of how it kicks in.
Together. Thanks. And have a great evening.
So as you're seeing now, all the lights went dark, it's all red, we're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And then it all gets going. Now I gotta say, I was so stunned by Cyberpunk. I was not expecting this. I was expecting Blade Runner, the video game, the trailer that we...
It kind of felt that way.
No, it didn't at all. It felt like...
Ready Player One. It felt Ready Player One.
Which is absolutely not Blade Runner.
Okay, it's not Blade Runner, but what I'm so... No, but in terms of like that, the futuristic... you know what I'm talking about. There was heaps of robots walking around and shit. It was a very robot...
Like Futurama.
No,
same thing. Blade Runner, Futurama. Same
There was a very robot kind of and human coexisting feeling to that. So it was Blade Runner, plus it was Ready Player One. I felt both there.
It felt to me like Sunset Overdrive and Watch Dogs 2 in the future. Like, that's how it felt. It felt way more punky than I imagined, way more colourful than I imagined, way more attitude than I imagined.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that... I felt maybe a bit of Detroit when I first saw that, like the whole... she's like a cyborg and she's getting shot at. The original trailer.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like,
I see what you mean. The original trailer.
That's the original trailer.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this is a battle between humans and androids or something. Yeah. But this shows so much more.
You can see the design direction,
yeah,
their art ethos, the color palette, the kind of attitude they want to bring to the table. I'm feeling mixed about this, to be perfectly honest, because I'd really dreamed that Cyberpunk 2077 was Blade Runner the video game, and that it would be serious and deep and dark and film noir-esque, and I really had that in my mind. It was almost unquestionable that it would go in this direction in my mind. And so now seeing this, I'm really torn, and I trust these guys, I really do. But at the same time, I'm very much like, okay, so I'm not going to have that thing now.
I think we get to eat our cake and have it too, because
that's exactly the way you phrase that. That's totally the
have our cake and eat it too. There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Eat our cake.
We haven't slept in 40. How long have we not slept for?
48 hours.
Whatever, right? It's like Detroit's come along. It's told a wonderful story, very similar to that. You know, only a month or so ago. This game looks like it might touch on that a little bit, and it also is going to obviously kind of give us a Ready Player One experience too. But I feel like it can give us both. I feel like it can give us both.
We'll see. Look, either way, I have a lot of trust in CD Projekt Red. They don't make shit games.
If you played The Witcher, Jesus Christ.
And but that's it. So overall thoughts on Xbox conference? How did they do?
I honestly was very impressed because I felt like I was going in there thinking, if they give us another bunch of weird indies and like no three-pillar, exclusive like the Forza and the Gears of War and the Halo, like that's so important, and they really delivered on that. So that's what they need. And coming to the party with buying all these development houses, it's so important. They're getting ready for the future. So I feel like for the next console, they might be really back in the saddle. I really do.
The takeaway from me was the fact that they did do the whole purchase of studios. They spruiked that. Because if they just came out and said, we're already awesome and everything's fine and we're going to release some games next year that you don't really care about, that'd be the worst possible scenario. The fact that they said, guys, we kind of know we fucked up. We're going to buy some studios. We're going to fix this in the long term. That for me says, all right, cool. Xbox is on the right track. They have obviously Xbox One X is the most powerful hardware. So hopefully third-party games will look the best on it in some instances.
They've learned their lesson now, because if they come out and go, most powerful console ever, but there's, a lacking of IP, people will not line up for it, So it's great to be the most powerful, but now it looks like they're getting also on the IP train. So we're exciting, people.
It is exciting.
We'll have to see. We're about to go to the Bethesda conference and tell you more about Soldier 76.
Soldier 76 out.
See you guys.